Metroid Prime 4 Beyond review. I don't think I need to say much more. Let's get to it.
Beyond tries to be so
Hold
many.
on.
Metroid Prime 4 Beyond tries to be so many different things. There were moments where I thought it might be the strongest Prime since the very first, and others where it felt like the weakest. An outdated open-world hub connects breathtaking areas that brilliantly revisit the classic first-person exploration and lock-on shooting the series is known for. Talkative companions drop a few too many hints and one-liners, but they're redeemed by some memorable story moments and mostly charming personalities that even a crotchety Metroid fan like me warmed up to in the end.
Okay, I'm liking that so far.
And thankfully, Retro Studios still mostly understands it's important to give Samus her alone time, with a relieving amount of exploration in total isolation. While some of what it attempts just doesn't work, far more of it does, resulting in an uneven but overall impressive revival that reaches incredible heights in its best moments.
Shorty got aura.
The story begins with Samus mysteriously teleporting to the planet Viewros, where she works to find a way home while also uncovering the history of the ancient Lamorn race. The hook this time around is Samus's new psychic abilities. These powers allow you to telekinetically manipulate certain objects, while also adding a new wrinkle to Samus's standard arsenal. They lead to all sorts of challenges that involve directing charge shots to hit multiple targets, using bombs as projectiles, and cool momentum-based morph ball platforming. The puzzles and suit upgrades are great overall, if a little familiar.
I mean, it's
really enjoy
Metroid. What you
using the
expect?
psychic abilities to find every last hidden item, even though they're mostly slight remixes of returning powers rather than something truly original. I can only recall a few times where a solution felt particularly novel, but that does include one awesome cinematic moment that really stands out. And when we're talking about the long-awaited continuation of one of the most acclaimed video game trilogies of all time, it's not a major complaint to say it's sticking relatively close to the script. Combat also feels exactly like you'd expect from a modern Prime, though it's not just a straight retread. You lock on and fire shots while strafing as usual, but Samus feels amazing to control here. You have a swift forward and backward dodge, improved maneuverability when popping out of the morph ball, and snappier access to your visor. You'll also gain flashy elemental weapons that are helpful in both combat and exploration. Choosing your weapon and fine-tuning your aim is still fun.
I don't even recall, because I'm not gonna lie, I haven't played a Metroid game in a while. Last one I played was like, I think Other M. And then I have a modded GameCube, so I was playing Prime on my modded GameCube. So I don't know if they ever had elemental stuff.
All these years later, despite its relative simplicity. Prime's combat has always fared best when sparse encounters are supplemental to exploration, which is the format Prime 4 follows most of the time, introducing new foes that require different tools to beat. The low points are when it does its best impression of a mid-2000s corridor shooter, occasionally focusing a bit too much on repetitive waves of enemies.
No, did I say, what did I say? Dread. The one for the Switch. Dread. I don't know what I said. I don't know, I'm tweaking this morning.
At least those sections always end with something exciting, as the great lineup of boss battles is a nice mix of towering monsters and one-on-one shootouts.
I think that's this is gonna be the highlight of the game, the boss fights. As it should be. A dry desert. I don't know why they did this open world shit. You didn't need it.
Samus's new motorbike is the other big addition. The way it's woven into the plot feels surprisingly natural, and it controls well. But what you'll actually use it for is one of Prime 4's biggest fumbles. You'll mainly ride around Soul Valley, this desert hub that serves as the middle ground between each major location, sort of like what Hyrule Field was in Ocarina of Time. It's mostly empty and uninteresting. The same few enemy types pop up when you're riding around, and all you do is fire a basic projectile or charge into them. Soul Valley isn't that big, so it at least doesn't take too long to get from point A to point B. The problem is that it's designed as if that N64 Hyrule Field saw the Great Plateau from Breath of the Wild and said, I can do that too. Prime 4 goes to great lengths to ensure you spend multiple hours riding across this drab desert just to reach the credits, almost like it's trying to justify the motorbike's inclusion. It sprinkles an extremely small number of Breath of the Wild-like shrines on the map that house optional upgrades. The bite-sized puzzles inside those shrines are fine, but there's no joy in discovering them, and it feels like a surface-level attempt to recapture Zelda's open-world magic that doesn't really work. This wouldn't be a huge deal, except Prime 4 ties a main objective to the desert. Samus has to collect enough green energy to preserve the history of the Lamorn, which is a very cool setup. But in practice, all that entails is mindlessly driving around and crashing into any green crystals you see. It's the type of runtime padding filler that had already outworn its welcome the last time a Metroid Prime game came out. And Prime 4 would be so much tighter without this quest, or even without its half-baked desert at all. It's far from a deal breaker since this mission is given to you very early on, meaning you can chip away at it while you're riding to your next destination, but it's certainly not fun regardless.
Well, one thing I hate about games is padding, bro. Like, just get to the point, bro. Get all that extra nonsense out the way. I feel like they want to make the game longer to make it to justify price or justify whatever, but just get to the point. If the game only ends up being like 6 to 10 hours, but you was aiming for 20, so what? Just make that 6 to 10 hours bang. Stop adding filler to it to make the game seem like it's longer than it really is. I don't like that.
The good news is that the places you're riding toward are full of the atmosphere and gameplay you came for. Lonely, haunting exploration through gorgeous, fully realized areas that each have their own detailed backstory to uncover. Structurally, the individual maps take after Prime 2 and 3's more self-contained approach rather than Prime 1's interconnected spiderweb. There is some backtracking involved, of course, but each region has just one entrance from the desert, and you'll finish most of its main objectives on your first visit.
Okay.
I was delighted to find that this format fills the traditional 3D Zelda-shaped hole in my heart, as each zone essentially acts like a huge dungeon. Explore, find a key upgrade, kill the boss with it, and leave. That's not to say it doesn't feel like Metroid. There are a few main quests and plenty of optional items I needed to come back for later. It's just that these two series have always shared a lot of the same DNA, and Prime 4 lands closer to the Zelda style.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's true.
Every location stands on its own, which allows Retro to give each a unique vibe. Sometimes Samus is completely alone and it leans hard into the tense sci-fi horror of Alien. And sometimes she's accompanied by Galactic Federation companions through more scripted scenes that call upon the action tropes of its sequel, Aliens.
Samus, you made it. Let's take care of this.
This constant genre shifting across levels keeps things fresh for most of its roughly 15-hour runtime.
Okay, 15, so it really should have been 10.
In these dedicated areas, Prime 4 makes a case for itself as the best-looking game Nintendo has ever published.
Really?
Its fantastical art direction is jaw-droppingly gorgeous at times.
Better than
with
Breath of the Wild, Tears of the
lighting,
Kingdom?
beautiful backgrounds, and the return of Samus's iconic visor effects. It sounds great too, with outstanding melodies throughout.
Oh yeah, I know the soundtrack gonna bang. I'm already knowing.
Prime 4 doesn't reach the heights of the best-looking games on other platforms, but a game this stunning, running at a flawless 4K 60 FPS on Switch 2, with a smooth 120 FPS option that lowers the resolution, is a huge step forward for Nintendo. And while the resolution downgrade while playing on Switch 1 is noticeable in comparison, it still runs at an impressive 60 FPS on the old hardware, and it's a totally viable way to play Prime 4 if you haven't upgraded yet. Some locations stand alongside my favorites in the series, and when you're methodically tiptoeing your way through one, Prime 4 more than lives up to the trilogy's legacy. An early highlight is Volt Forge, a gothic, futuristic factory set to a powerful rock soundtrack. It's impressive how its rich history is intertwined with its level design. You can just work your way through each room and enjoy the intricate layouts at face value, or you can scan every machine and learn why they exist and what they were used for. Which provides
that's what I'm gonna be doing.
Context that makes complete sense when you see it all in motion.
I'm scanning
These
everything.
places feel big, important, and carefully plotted out. That world building remains an incredibly special piece of Metroid Prime. Each region is fairly linear, with usually just one correct way to go, even if multiple choices are presented. When you stumble into a room with 3 doors, for example, it's likely that one is a save room, one is blocked until you get a new upgrade, and one is the way forward. I actually think this choice suits Prime very well, allowing it to focus more on mood, handcrafted tension, and distinct sequences. But it's a very different flavor than the non-linear design the Metroid series helped pioneer more than 30 years ago. This decision also makes Prime 4 feel like the best entry point into this series for new folks.
You're alone, on a planet, no hope of survival.
Speaking of new folks, most regions contain one of several Galactic Federation companions who temporarily travel with Samus before heading back to base camp. Thankfully, these characters are far less intrusive than I initially feared after a particularly obnoxious tutorial section I saw in a preview.
Yeah, we reacted to that. He was not feeling this character, this new guy, one of the new guys, 'cause he was talking too much and telling you where to go too much. But I guess that was just for that slice of the game that he played, because now he's changing his tune a little bit.
Demo.
That door just opened all by itself.
Their limited presence means they don't have amazing character arcs, a more than acceptable side effect. But they do have mostly likable personalities and provide a few highlights that give Prime 4 its own identity. It helps that the great voice acting and facial animations are another step forward for Nintendo.
Private First Class Nora Armstrong.
Solid.
To meet you, Samus.
They could still use some work in the writing department, however, as they often fall back on well-worn action cliches.
It's gonna get hot in here.
Or commentary that feels out of place.
I have no idea what we're doing, but it feels like it's working.
I'm grateful that they generally don't outright spoil specific puzzle solutions, but they do chime in a little more often than I'd like about where to go or what to do next.
Have you explored Full Forge using your new abilities? Might be worth checking out.
Me, honestly, I don't mind that, because I'm a means to an end guy. If the game see me taking too long to get to it, give me a hint so we can get up out of here. I'm past the point where I need to feel like I'm this elite, this super elite top gamer that could just figure everything out right away. I just want to play the game, enjoy it, and I don't want to keep getting stuck on the same part. I like difficulty, I like challenge, but like, time is money, bro. I got other shit I could be doing. Even though I do make money doing this, like, you know, but I like to move forward, keep moving forward.
Lets you toggle on-screen tips that nudge you in the right direction, so I really wish I could turn off companion hints too. When you're together on a mission, which is a major part of the campaign, certain aspects can feel outdated as well, like waiting for someone to help you open a door, hearing repetitive combat dialogue lines, acquiring targets, or reviving them whenever they go down.
Keep them away from me!
Prime 4 keeps these portions in check by smartly knowing when to leave you alone entirely.
I'll hang back. Try to open the gate from up here.
With multiple lengthy segments where Samus loses radio signal and no one can bother her.
Might be on your own from here. Good work.
You spend over half the runtime on your own, so if you're a longtime Metroid fan who craves ambience and isolation, there's plenty of that here too. Overall, the companions are tolerable. While there are still several moments that probably would have been more epic if Samus was alone, their inclusion does lead to some fun cinematic events that wouldn't be possible otherwise.
Oh! Whoa! You are sneaky quiet, you know that?
One character who I actually wish was included more is Sylux, the big bad that doesn't play nearly as big a role in the story as I expected. It's another underdeveloped part of Prime 4, and it feels like he's only here out of reluctant obligation to Prime 3's post-credits tease from 2007. Instead, this story focuses far more on Lamorn history, which is very fascinating on its own, but it doesn't entirely make up for the feeling that something's missing.
They might have got caught in crunch and had to cut some stuff out.
It doesn't take psychic powers to see the ideal vision Metroid Prime 4 Beyond was aiming for. It tries to mix the excellent Prime formula with a character-focused story and a large hub world to explore. It doesn't quite reach that ambitious goal, with an outdated open desert area that mostly feels like padding, and a cast of characters that provide both a handful of memorable moments and too much chatter at times.
Well, One door is still locked. The other one is malfunctioning. Hey, but it's progress.
But none of its issues come close to ruining Prime 4, which is still an excellent comeback thanks to incredible peaks that are almost entirely self-contained from its stumbles. It mostly knows when to leave Samus alone, and a significant chunk of this 15-hour adventure is spent in delightfully atmospheric solitude. It nails the essential elements of a Prime game that remain special decades later. Tense exploration through haunting locations, highlighted by amazing world building, breathtaking art direction, new twists on classic abilities, and
so maybe
flawless technical performance. Even though a few underdeveloped elements keep it from feeling as cohesive as its predecessors, Prime 4 reaches heights worthy of the
IGN hired me,
Metroid
stop
name.
Give me more than I make at my job, and I'll pull up on y'all.
Executive reviews editor.
Yeah, we don't look. I don't know why they do these after the podcast reviews. I don't know who asked for that, to be honest, because I surely didn't. But yeah, I'm interested to see what's the Metacritic scores looking like. Let me go look at that. Let me go look that up real quick. Hold on. Let me hold on. Okay, so it dropped. It's gonna drop on the 4th, so that's probably when the rest of the embargoes will lift. A few outlets have their reviews out already. So you know, usually when you see reviews dropping days before the game comes out, for me, I feel like that means the developers and the publisher is confident in the quality of the game, and so far it's lived up to that with these few reviews here. And again, like I always say, you shouldn't base your opinion and how you feel about the game based off somebody else's opinion of it. You should always get the game for yourself and try it out for yourself. But it's good to look at the reviews to see what you're going to be getting into and seeing what you should be expecting. Now, some people might like some elements that I dislike. Some people might like some elements that the reviewer disliked. But it's important that you like it for you, because gaming is like, I know it's a community, but it's also an individual aspect. If you like the game, I don't care if the game get a 20 out of 100. There's some games that have terrible review scores that I love. It all depends on you, all based on you. I don't want people to think I'm going around doing these reactions based on how I feel on games or what I do. If you check my channel, I play games, bro. I really games on this channel. Don't ever play with me like that, you know. So I just wanted to clear that up. I usually have to clear that up in these videos because people be like, "Did you play the game?" Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I play more games than you, probably, most likely. And I work full time, and I do this YouTube shit full time, and I'm a musician. So. But anywho, let me do my little 1-2 real quick, and then we're gonna get up out of here. We're gonna get up out of here. Hold on. Wait, come on. There we go. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. So, based off the final build of the game, there was this review from IGN. A lot of reviews are starting to drop, and as I said a few minutes ago, it's good to see reviews dropping before the game comes out, because it comes out on the 4th. Because to me, that usually signals that the company meaning the developer and the publisher, is confident about the game's release. And, you know, this is Metroid. This is the next big Metroid game. So, it seems that they're confident in this release. The game, the facial reactions look good. The environments. The reviewer said this is the best looking Nintendo Switch game, which surprised me, because to me, that's Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Probably Tears of the Kingdom on the Switch 2 version. But yeah, good looking game. It's Metroid, so you know what you're getting, you know, and I can't wait to play it. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this game down in the comments. All right, so y'all already know the vibes. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It's your boy JusticeXFalls, and we out. 1.